In today's video, we're talking about the West McDowell Justice Court. The West McDowell Justice Court is a misdemeanor court in Maricopa County in Arizona. We see a lot of people charged with crimes out of this court. And so in this video, we'll tell you a little bit more about it. First of all, the court's jurisdiction. We'll tell you about the prosecutors who are in charge of prosecuting crimes here. We'll tell you a little bit more about the judge herself so that if you or somebody you know or love has been charged with a crime at a West McDowell, you know a little bit more about it. So let's dive into it. So when I'm talking about the court's jurisdiction, I'm talking about the geographic area over which the court has authority and has control. If you are cited and stopped for a crime within the court's jurisdiction, the court has power over you. If you're cited outside of the court's jurisdiction, the court has no authority to hear your case. And so it's important you know what that looks like. And I have here a picture of it. So here we have the West McDowell Court's jurisdiction. You can see the boundaries are highlighted in yellow, and then some of the major freeways that are running through it are highlighted in pink. We've got some big ones there. We have the 60, we have the I-10, and we have the I-17 as it curves around down there towards the bottom. And so what that means is a lot of people are passing through West McDowell. We see a lot of different people going through there as they're passing, going a number of different ways, all, up to Flagstaff, down to Tucson, coming across the I-10, heading into downtown, heading out to California. So a lot of people who live here or just passing through come through this court's jurisdiction. And because this is a justice court, it's patrolled by MCSO, the Maricopa County Sheriff's Officers, and DPS, the Department of Public Safety, and they are patrolling the freeways. And so what we see are a lot of traffic-related offenses here. We see DUIs, we see criminal speeding, we see things like reckless driving, driving on a suspended license. A lot of people call us about civil tickets as well. So it's important you understand that once you're cited in this court, once you're cited by one of these officers for one of these crimes, as I said at the beginning, if you're outside of that yellow boundary, but you're cited into West McDowell, that means the court doesn't have any authority to hear your case. So your case can be dismissed easily on a technicality because the court doesn't have jurisdiction. So if you are cited by one of these officers for one of those crimes and you are within the court's jurisdiction, what happens next? It's going to go over to the prosecutor's office. The prosecuting agency out of West McDowell is the Maricopa County Attorney's Office. It's a very, very big agency. They handle all of the misdemeanor offenses on all 26 different justice courts. West McDowell is one of those 26. So there's a lot of prosecutors who are involved. And when you're dealing with a big agency like that, the only way that they like to operate is based on different policies. So what will happen will be the main prosecutors at the top, the county attorney, people at the very top, will set the policies, and those policies will trickle down. And when I'm talking about policies, I'm talking about what are they going to offer you to resolve your case? How are they going to help you close your case out, if they're going to help you at all? Typically, they don't. Really, what they're asking you to do is plead guilty to the offense. They may reduce a fine, or they may do something to sort of slightly entice you to do that. But by and large, they're just following their policy, and their policies are typically pretty strict. So the reason why this is important to understand how this works is because many people will call us and they'll say, I'm just going to go into court on my own. I'll try to figure it out. I've never been in trouble before. I'm a good person. Maybe I can just talk to the prosecutor and they'll dismiss my DUI, or they will drop my criminal speeding into a civil speeding. Reality is it just most often doesn't work like that. As I said, they follow their policies. And so they basically are looking at your charge, they're looking at your background, and they just go to a chart and they say, okay, this type of charge, this blood alcohol content, or this speed, and they say this is what your plea deal is. So it's a little bit difficult for us to convey to people how important it is to bring an attorney on board, because if you go in on your own and you become combative, or you present the wrong evidence or say the wrong things to the prosecutor, they can capitalize on that. They'll put that in your notes, and that can make our job a little bit more difficult down the line. So just be very cautious what you're doing if you're going into court on your own. Now, there are ways that we help people break through these policies. Obviously, there's a reason why defense attorneys exist. What you need to do is identify substantive legal arguments, make persuasive legal issues, raise those issues, so that when you go into the prosecutor's office and present these arguments, you start to build in a little leverage, and you give them something that they can take back to their bosses that will give them approval to deviate down from the policy, to break that policy, to give you what's called a deviation from that original plea deal. So that's a little bit more about how that works. So just be cautious if you're going in on your own. We don't want you to do more harm to your case than you should. Let's talk a little bit more about the judge. So Judge Teresa Lopez was elected to this court in 2018, which means she took the bench in 2019. So at the time of this video, very, very new judge. Now, she's not a licensed attorney in Arizona. She has an associate's degree in legal arts and a bachelor's degree in management. So not a ton of legal training. I don't really know what legal arts is specifically or what an associate's degree involved, but it's not law school. She didn't pass a bar exam or anything like that. Doesn't mean that she's a bad judge or a good judge. It just means she doesn't have a whole lot of formal legal training. Prior to her actually running and getting elected in this position, she was a hearing officer for a number of different courts in Maricopa County. A hearing officer is typically somebody who will listen to things like civil traffic hearings, so like simple civil speeding tickets or unsafe lane changes, those types of things. So she's been doing that for a little while. Somebody who has also been highly involved in other different organizations for community justice and community equality, things like the E-Latina Voices, the Governor's Advisory Council on Aging, Barrios Unidos, Valle del Sol, Arizona Latino Research Enterprise. A number of different things are on her bio. So she's been doing it a lot. She's been highly involved in the community. And just somebody who's brand new, so we don't have a whole lot of opinions on her. Typically, when judges are new, it takes them a little while, it takes them several years to kind of find their footing and really flesh out some of their policies and how they're going to deal with DUI sentencing rules, where they do have some discretion, or where they're going to give you credit for time served, or whether they're going to allow driving school on a criminal speeding. There's a lot of different areas where judges will flesh out their opinions, and we've actually seen judges, while they're on the bench, look down at their phones and kind of text message other judges because they don't know what to do. They don't know how to interpret our legal arguments, so they'll be texting other people, not this particular judge, but I'm just saying judges in general. So it takes them a while. They're trying to find their feet, and so at this time, we just don't have a whole lot to say about this particular judge. Just don't know much about her, just took the bench. They go through some training. For really any substantive legal arguments, what they'll typically do is bring in what's called a pro tem judge, so somebody who has a little bit more experience to hear the trial or to hear the evidentiary hearing and those things. So we'll see how this judge develops and evolves as a judge, but we're looking forward to getting to know her. But if you or somebody that you know or love is cited in this court and you're having to appear in front of this judge and deal with these prosecutors, give our office a call. We offer free case evaluations, so there's really nothing to lose. We'll have you come in, sit down, we'll review the facts of your case, review how it all will work out of this particular jurisdiction, and most importantly, make sure you have a plan so that you're not going in there and getting blindsided as you go through the process. So give us a call. We look forward to speaking with you soon. Thanks for watching.